All right, ready to dive into some fiery pronouncements?
Oh, yeah.
Stark warnings,
Definitely.
and even some glimmers of hope.
Yeah.
We're exploring the Book of Micah today.
It's Micah. So Micah was a prophet,
Okay.
lived in the 8th century BCE.
K century?
Yeah. And
BCE.
speaking to both the kingdoms of Israel and Judah
Okay.
during some seriously turbulent times.
All right, so we've got
Oh, yeah.
Assyria on the rise. We've got political corruption.
Uh-huh.
We've got social injustice running rampant.
And all of that, yeah.
It was a time when things really seemed to be falling apart.
For sure.
And Micah's words,
Yeah.
they definitely reflect that.
Yeah, he doesn't sugarcoat anything.
No.
Like, it's straight up,
Yeah.
you're messing up, and there will be consequences.
You're in trouble.
Yeah.
But what's interesting to me is how he delivers those messages.
Yeah.
He doesn't just lay down the law,
Yeah.
He uses this incredibly vivid
Oh, yeah.
language.
Like watching mountains melt before your eyes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's paint a picture here for our listener.
Run.
We're starting with Samaria,
Right.
the capital of the northern kingdom of Israel.
Right.
Micah talks about God descending to earth
Uh-huh.
and the mountains melting like wax in his presence.
Yeah.
What's the significance of that kind of imagery?
I think it really drives home the severity of the situation, right?
Okay.
Israel had turned away from God,
Okay.
embraced idolatry,
Yeah.
and their society was just crumbling under the weight of injustice.
Uh-huh.
So this imagery, like you were saying, evokes this sense of awe and fear.
Yeah.
Like the very foundations of their world are shaken.
Yeah. And the consequences
Oh, yeah.
that he describes, they're pretty stark.
Definitely.
Samaria,
Yeah.
this once great city,
Huh.
would be reduced to ruins, turned into a vineyard.
Into a vineyard. Wow.
He even talks about their idols being melted down.
Oh, wow.
And the metal used for, well,
No.
let's just say it's not a glorious end.
It's almost as if he's saying,
Yeah.
look, the things you've placed your trust in,
Okay.
the things that you've worshipped above God,
Yeah.
they'll become worthless, less valuable than, well, you get the picture.
Yeah, it's a powerful way of showing
Yeah.
how misplaced priorities
Sure.
can lead to absolute ruin.
Exactly.
And this isn't just some abstract concept.
Yeah.
Imagine you're living in Samaria,
Yeah.
hearing these words.
Right?
It would be terrifying.
Absolutely. That's Micah's point, I think.
Yeah.
He's trying to shake them out of their complacency
Oh.
to make them see the path they're on
Uh-huh.
and the disaster that awaits.
The disaster that awaits. But
Yeah.
it's not just about scaring them, is it?
I don't think so, no.
Even in these pronouncements of judgment, there's a sense of, I don't know, maybe like heartbroken love?
Absolutely. You can feel Micah's deep grief
Yeah.
over what's happening to his people.
Ah.
It's like he's a parent watching their child make terrible choices, knowing they're headed for pain.
Now, this brings us to Judah,
Okay.
the southern kingdom.
The southern kingdom.
They thought they were better than Israel,
Right.
more righteous. Right.
Well, they certainly had that air about them.
Yeah.
But Micah quickly disabuses them of that notion.
Okay.
He turns his attention to their leaders,
Okay.
who are just as corrupt,
Interrupt.
exploiting the poor and taking bribes.
Yeah, it's this reminder that no one is exempt from judgment, no matter how righteous they think they are.
Mhm.
And he gets specific,
Yeah.
calling out towns by name
Oh, yeah.
and using their names to foreshadow their fates.
He does.
It's like he's saying, don't think you can hide. I'm talking to you.
Yeah. He's not messing around.
One example is the town of Shafir,
Okay.
which means pleasant in Hebrew.
Pleasant.
Micah prophesies that its residents will be driven into exile,
Oh, wow.
turning their pleasant lives
Right.
into anything but.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting.
Now, we've talked about this fiery judgment,
Uh-huh.
but one thing that really strikes me about Micah
Yeah.
is his lament.
Oh, yeah.
There's this raw emotion that comes through,
Mm-hmm.
this deep sense of mourning
Yeah.
over what he sees happening.
Absolutely. He even describes himself
Okay.
walking barefoot,
Mm-hmm.
howling like a wild dog in mourning.
Wow.
It's such a visceral image.
Yeah.
It's not just anger we hear. It's genuine anguish.
Yeah.
This isn't some detached observer.
Uh-huh.
This is someone who loves his people deeply
Okay.
and is heartbroken by their choices.
Heartbroken by their choices.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's heavy stuff, for
Oh,
sure.
It is.
But amidst all this darkness
Yeah.
and judgment,
Mm.
there are these glimmers of hope
Yes.
that start to emerge. It's like,
Right.
even in the midst of a storm, Micah
Right.
catches a glimpse of
Oh.
sunshine breaking through the clouds.
Exactly. It would be easy to get bogged down
Oh, yeah.
in the pronouncements of doom.
Right.
But Micah doesn't let us stay there.
No.
He points towards a future where things aren't just restored, but made even better than before.
Even better. This is the part that always gets me.
Okay.
The restoration.
The restoration, yeah.
Micah talks about God gathering the scattered remnants of Israel, reuniting the divided kingdom.
And bringing everybody back together.
Yeah, he even says they'll be so numerous, they'll make a racket.
Oh, wow.
I love that image.
Yeah.
It's like this joyous, chaotic homecoming.
It speaks to this incredible abundance, this overflowing blessing that awaits those who return to God.
Right.
Imagine, even after experiencing such devastation and exile, there's this promise of a future filled with life and joy.
And then things get really interesting.
Okay, let's hear it.
Micah foretells a ruler emerging from Bethlehem, a seemingly insignificant town.
Insignificant.
Now, this king isn't just any king, you know.
Right.
He's described as shepherd.
A shepherd.
Who will guide his people with divine strength.
With divine strength.
And be honored worldwide.
Honored worldwide.
Doesn't that sound familiar?
Yeah, it's hard not to see the messianic implications here.
Yeah.
While Micah might have had a Davidic figure in mind.
Okay.
Someone who'd restore the glory of Israel's past.
Right.
This prophecy seems to point to something even bigger. A future king who will usher in a new era of peace and justice for all.
It's like Micah is saying, hey, this isn't just about Israel. This is about the whole world being transformed.
Yeah, and that leads us perfectly into Micah's vision of future peace. A time when nations will flock to Jerusalem to learn from God.
To learn from God.
Beating their swords into plowshares.
Wow.
And living without fear.
This is great.
It's a powerful image of utopia.
Yeah.
A world where violence and oppression are replaced by harmony and understanding.
Harmony and understanding. It's a beautiful vision.
It is.
But it also raises a question for me.
Okay.
How do we get there?
Right.
What does it take to create this kind of world?
That's the big question.
Well, Micah doesn't just focus on the big picture, the grand sweep of history.
Yeah.
He also gets down to the nitty-gritty of what it means to live a life that pleases God.
That pleases God, right?
There's this passage where someone asks, how can I please God with sacrifices, offerings?
The age-old question.
It's a question that probably resonated with a lot of people back then, just like it does today.
Exactly.
We often think that pleasing God is about performing the right rituals, following a set of rules.
Yeah, check it out. Boxes.
Yeah. But Micah, speaking for God, basically says, hold on a minute.
What's he?
That's not what I'm looking for.
Okay.
What I truly desire is justice, faithfulness, and humility.
It's not about the outward show.
No.
The elaborate rituals.
Yeah.
It's about aligning your life with God's will.
With God's will.
About living out those values in your everyday actions.
It's a powerful message.
It is.
That cuts through all the religious posturing and gets to the heart.
To the heart of it.
Of what truly matters. But Mike is saying it's not about what you say you believe. It's about how you live your life.
Right. And that challenge applies to us today just as much as it did to the people of Micah's time.
Hey, and if anyone missed the point, Micah really lays into
crazy leaders
condemning their corruption, their greed, and violence.
Yeah, he uses this incredibly visceral image.
Yeah.
Comparing them to cannibals.
Oh, wow.
Devouring their own people.
Devouring their own people.
It's a shocking image.
It is.
And it really highlights the destructive nature of their actions.
Okay.
They're not just hurting individuals.
Right.
They're tearing apart the very fabric of society.
The very fabric.
Think about it this way.
Okay.
If those in power are consumed by greed and self-interest, they end up consuming the very people.
Wow.
They're supposed to be leading and protecting.
So we see this tension throughout Micah. Judgment and hope. Despair and longing. This deep sense of grief. Alongside this unwavering belief in God's ultimate faithfulness.
And it's that tension, I think, that makes Micah so compelling.
So compelling.
He doesn't shy away from the harsh realities of his time.
Yeah.
But he also refuses to give in to despair.
To despair.
He holds on to this vision of a future.
Okay.
Redeemed by God.
Redeemed by God.
A vision that speaks to something deep within us.
Yeah.
Something that yearns for justice, peace, and restoration.
Justice, peace, and restoration. As we get towards the end of Micah, you really start to feel the weight of everything we've been talking about. It's like all those emotions, the judgment, the hope, the grief, they all come to a head in Micah's personal plea to God.
It's almost like he's hit a wall.
Yeah.
You know, he cries out saying he's depressed. There's no goodness left.
Wow.
No sweetness to be found.
Such a raw moment.
Yeah, very vulnerable, where you see just how deeply all of this has affected him.
And he's not just talking about physical things like fruit.
No.
He's lamenting the lack of faithful people.
Yeah.
Saying they've vanished from the land.
It's like he feels utterly alone.
Yeah.
In this sea of corruption and injustice.
But even in this pit of despair, Micah clings to something powerful.
He does.
His faith.
His faith, yeah.
He declares that he'll keep watching for the Lord.
Okay.
That his God will hear his lament.
It's powerful.
It's this refusal to give up hope.
Yeah.
Even when things seem utterly bleak.
Even when things seem bleak, you know?
It's a powerful reminder that even when we feel surrounded by darkness, when it seems like all goodness has been sucked out of the world, we can still choose to hold on to faith.
Yeah.
And you know what? Micah's faith isn't in vain.
It's not. He gets this vision of a future where his enemies are ashamed. Trampled like mud in the streets.
Oh, wow.
While Jerusalem is restored and its boundaries extended.
It's a complete reversal of fortune.
It is. The oppressors are brought low.
Yeah.
And those who have remained faithful are lifted up.
It's a reminder that in God's economy, things don't always play out the way we expect.
They don't always play out the way we expect, no.
And then the book ends with this incredibly beautiful prayer.
Beautiful prayer.
Micah exalts God's mercy and forgiveness, reminding everyone that God doesn't stay angry forever.
Right.
His ultimate desire is to show love and compassion to his people.
He even uses this vivid image of God hurling Israel fins into the depths of the sea.
Into the depths of the sea.
Gone forever.
Gone. It's this picture of complete cleansing and renewal.
Right. No matter how far we've strayed, no matter how much we've messed up, God's forgiveness is always available.
So as we come to the end of our deep dive into Micah, what are some of the key takeaways that our listener can hold on to?
Yeah. What can we learn from this often overlooked book?
What can we learn?
Well, for me, Micah's message is a potent reminder that God deeply cares about justice. He can't stand oppression and exploitation.
Right.
And he calls each of us to stand up for the vulnerable and marginalized in our own world.
It's also a message of hope.
Definitely. No matter how dark things might seem.
Yeah.
God is always working to redeem and restore.
Redeem and restore.
He sees the bigger picture. And he's always moving towards that ultimate vision of peace and flourishing.
And perhaps most importantly, Micah challenges us to go beyond empty rituals and religious posturing. True faith is about a genuine transformation of our hearts.
Transforming our hearts.
Aligning our lives with God's will and living out those values in every action we take.
Micah's words might have been written centuries ago. But they still ring true today.
They still ring true today.
As you go about your week, think about this. Where do you see injustice happening around you?
Injustice.
What are the Micahs in your own life?
The Micah.
Calling you to speak out against oppression and be a voice for hope.
Be a voice for hope.
And how can you embody that same spirit of faithfulness and resilience?
Faithfulness and resilience.
That Micah so powerfully demonstrates.
Think about it on